Okay. We've been talking about the Enlightenment, so we're going to talk about the Enlightenment more today. But the focus of the Enlightenment today is going to be on the American Revolution, okay, and how the American Revolution was influenced by the Enlightenment. So our lesson essential question is, how did Enlightenment thinking affect the American Revolution? What I want to do to start off today in talking about the Enlightenment is to put a bunch of words on the board that have to do with the Enlightenment. So here's what we're going to do. Well, first of all, let's do a quick practice on this. Since Thanksgiving's all in our mind, I'm going to give you the word Thanksgiving. You tell me words that are associated with Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, what do you think of? Food, thankfulness, being happy, family, friends, respectful, spending time with people. What kind of foods? Turkey, dressing, pumpkin pie, ham, stuffing, rolls. Okay, all these great things, right? All right, so those are things we associate with Thanksgiving. Now, what are words or concepts or items that we associate with Enlightenment thinking? Okay. What else? Who? Natural rights. Very good. Who talked about that? Who was the philosopher that talked a lot about that? Huh? Locke. Okay. And what else did Locke talk about with natural rights? Life, liberty, property. Okay. And we call it life, liberty, and the what? Okay. Happiness is an enlightened concept. We're allowed to be happy. Okay. We're enlightened people. What else? What are some other Enlightenment things? What do some of the philosophers want? What type of government? Self-government. What else? Anybody? Who had Montesquieu? Which one y'all had? Martha, wake up. Martha, wake up. Wake her up. What did Montesquieu? What about Montesquieu's view of government?
Talking about the 3 branches of the government.
3 branches. This is an enlightened concept. Okay? All right, separation of powers. Self-government. Equality of the law. What else? Goes along with natural rights. What's that? Okay, liberty, freedom of what? Speech. Freedom of religion. Freedom of the press, right? Okay, so we got all the freedoms. These are all Enlightenment concepts. Okay? These are all Enlightenment concepts. Okay, so how does this relate to the American Revolution? Our founding fathers knew and read all of these philosophers. Okay, we talked about Locke. They knew Locke. They knew Rousseau, Voltaire. They knew Diderot, Descartes. They read about all these. Beccaria, the criminal justice stuff. Okay, they knew all about that. So when we talk about the American Revolution, we're really talking about an enlightened movement. Okay, so when we look at the founding of our country with the Declaration of Independence, who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Thomas Jefferson. But you're reading John Locke there the whole time. Okay? All right, so that's all John Locke. It was all Enlightenment philosophy. All right? Huge connection between our founding fathers and the Enlightenment. The American Revolution was an enlightened revolution. Okay? We created a government, eventually created a constitution, which the Constitution was an enlightened document based on a lot of stuff Montesquieu talked about. Right? Okay, so now here's the next thing that you need to understand. Our American Revolution greatly impacted revolutions all around the world, and specifically the French Revolution. A few years after our American Revolution, the French had their own revolution. The French Revolution really changed a lot of things. Like our American Revolution was great. We loved it, right? I mean, it changed our government. We got rid of the king. Well, the French changed a lot more than just their king. They cut their king's head off, and then they sort of created one government, and then a year later they created another government, and then a year later another government. Then they killed a whole bunch of people for no real reason at all because they had a reign of terror. And but the French Revolution didn't just change government, it changed society, it changed politics, it changed religion, got rid of the Catholic Church. The French Revolution changed the calendar. They got rid of the calendar. They started at year zero. They changed the names of the months of the year. They set up a week was only 10 days. So the French Revolution changed all sorts of stuff. But the French Revolution was still enlightened in its, the way that it was created. And the French learned a lot, realistically from what we did, because we took all the enlightened philosophies, turned them into documents in a brand new government. So the French people wanted to do the same thing. Okay? All right. So those are some of the basics of how the Enlightenment affected our American Revolution.